Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Factorio in the Pyanodons mod. So this is going to be the intro both for the highlight stream and or the highlight version of the video and the stream version at this point. Last time we stopped off with the first of our racks. Our second one here, or our rack breeder, is simply waiting for a rack. I've also got things that want some moss. Did you finish? I have it in my inventory, don't I? No, I don't have it in my inventory. Felt like I set you up. Oh, there it is. I felt like I have a second one here. In fact, I do. So I'm not gonna render it. We're gonna put it in here. There we go. So very, very, very slowly, this will make more cracks. In the meantime, we're gonna grab some resources. We're gonna basically grab moss. So we got moss for this. We need a little bit for that as well. This makes the cocoons, this turns cocoons into rocks. Once we have enough rocks, we're gonna want to cage them so we can butcher them. The cage is actually reusable. The whole plan is to get over here to SciPack 1. Because the grand plan is to get the 45 SciPack 1s we need to do electric mining drill. And then we will very rapidly change what we're doing at that point. But yeah, so I suppose this is where the time skip for the short period is going to be for YouTube. Almost there, 99, 100. I'm going to make one throw over here, bring you up to full speed. You're at full speed, and then the last one, the one that's on the belt here, will be the guinea pig to see if the automatic inserter spaghetti works right. There we go. And it's been butchered. And first one butchered, you are running because you ran. Was that? That was enough. First slurry text. 26 hours, 31 minutes in. Which means I get a rubber stopper. Get some glassware. First glassware. 26 minutes. Or 26 hours, 32 minutes. And we're one glassware short of our first set of five-pack ones. We'll try to declog that system a little bit more. And then we'll go work on sort of working on the boiler system and then the sorting system. And we'll have to make that sorting system hopefully a little bit more robust. Be the hope. Here we go. There's the rocks going. First one, which makes you run. Which makes you run. Which makes you run. When you have two. I think for every one of these butchered we get two anyway, so it's should be happening. It just takes a moment. There we go. Gets you running. And there we go. First batch of SciPack 1. There we go. created the first Science Pack 1 on 26 hours, 37 minutes, and 45 seconds. Okay, and if future editor me does his job well, this will be a highlight. So this is a sort of a build review. This is the first mining area post electric drills. At some point I'll probably add more drills down here for mining coal for non-power needs, but this is basically a 8-belt raw coal generation method to power 8 belts worth of steam. So I've got boilers here consuming the raw coal belts to make steam. The product ash, right now we're not using enough of the steam, which is why it's not running at full speed. It should, in theory, be run pretty close to full speed. It actually should be limited to about 7.5 belts, but 8 belts in, 7.5 belts consumed of ash. We've got enough solid separators here in theory to do about 7.5 belts worth of separating. We've got one soot separator. We've got a sort of crude sorting facility up here that sorts the ores out and smelts the ores, just to keep the ores fairly small. The bypass, both for the ash that gets generated and the coal dust that gets generated. The coal dust then gets cycled back around into the 8-lane balancer that I've... to make sure that it eats the coal dust and priority has been futzed with a little bit, so it's not a perfect balancer, but basically to prioritize the input of the coal dust, and then that gets fed back in so that the coal dust gets consumed and doesn't jam the system. But yeah, this should provide more than enough steam, and sort of indirectly more than enough power for the next phase of my construction, which is the beginning of the bus. Which is why I'm saying at some point we'll come back here and we'll mine more coal here. It won't just be this. I'll use the bottom portion of the mine here to provide coal for the bus. But for the moment, this is what we're going to be using. And I've already got 16 boilers going off of this setup. Which means this place is actually, I think, almost half the power of the entire base. And the system obviously provides more steam, so I've set it up with an overflow valve that I'll use to pump the excess steam not used by power up here back to the base for processes that use power. So that's the build review. And yeah, I think this will work out pretty well. So I suppose this is where we'll go if you're watching on YouTube in the highlights video, where we'll go back into a part jump. And if you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a short break here just to get up and make a new cup of tea and take a stretch. I will be back. This is not where we're ending for now. I think the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting an iron mine going using electric drills. And it's done. Okay, and if editor me in the future does a good job, this will be the beginning of the end of the highlights. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this build is effectively sort of second generation mining. It's first generation with electric stuff. So this is the electric drills mining iron ore. And this is the good old advanced foundries, which are basically the same as stone furnaces in speed, but they use electricity, so I do not need to drag coal out here. It's a little bit more comfortable to do a half a belt of iron. You don't have to drag coal out to it. So this is effectively the beginning of the metal feed for our initial bus. This makes about a half a belt of iron using not but electrical power. It's not really drawing full power right now, although it is the most power-consuming thing on the grid, even in its half-off state because it's not actively running. You can see the very beginnings of the bus. A very ambitious bus. We're feeding half a belt into what is going to be 4 belts, so not very effective at the moment. But We're going to build the bus coming out the east side here. Either I'm going to ignore the oil sands or I'll go around it or something. The beginning next part, I think, beginning next stream, we're probably going to be doing the copper ore mining. Thinking probably that one. It'll be about the same as this. It may literally be exactly the same as this, just flip the other way around and doing copper instead of iron. To give me the sort of preloading of copper on the bus. So we can start working down the list of things. I've got a list of things to put on the bus. We're going to work through that list of things, one at a time. Yeah, I hope you have been enjoying this. We're going to bring the highlights to a close. If you're watching on Twitch, this is a good last opportunity to leave comments. I'm going to go over the schedule for the next couple days as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is going to get uploaded and released as soon as it is ready, although if you're tuning in from Reddit, I think I will probably post it to Reddit the day we go to stream Factorio again. Currently, the plan is today was Factorio, obviously, stream Factorio. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Songs of Six, so that's Saturday the 20th. Sunday the 21st we're going to do Stellaris, and on Monday we're going to do Shadow Empire, for the 22nd. The 23rd is likely not going to be a stream. It is effectively the eve of me traveling. So if it is a stream, it'll be a very short stream. And if it is a stream, I'm not sure what it'll be. It'll be a very short stream if we do a stream on Tuesday. I'm going to be flying from the 23rd to the 29th. So we may have a stream on the 29th. If we follow the schedule, the stream on the 29th should actually probably be Factorio. Think I have enough recordings for something that it actually ends on the 30th. So in theory, that probably should actually trump, because Factorio is coming out when it's recorded and uploaded and whatever, and not being scheduled, whereas everything else I'm trying to maintain sort of a 3-game schedule, one part coming out a day. So the day I get back may be that game, or that might be the day after. It depends on how I'm feeling after flying across the United States. I'm going to basically be out for a week for a wedding. So that's the upcoming schedule. So if you're interested in watching Factorio, if you're watching this on Twitch or watching this on YouTube, I recommend, well, if you're watching on YouTube, I recommend subscribing. If you're on Twitch, I recommend following so that you get notified when the next parts come out. It won't be quite as soon as it was from the previous day, which day 3 to 4 we were only 4 days apart. Because I'm going to be out for a week. It's going to be over a week basically. The run otherwise I think is going well. We've basically got full electric iron, full electric coal. The next stream will be getting full electric copper and beginning to replace the old spaghetti bus, sort of reducing our reliance on coal-fed generation of metal. And if we get low enough, I'll probably start feeding the coal-fed stuff into the bus as well to keep the bus operational as we build more and more capacity out. And probably one of the things we'll be wanting the bus to do is actually truly get these fluid mining drill assemblies built. Debating whether or not... Well, the old ones will probably continue to keep coal-fed. I might swap their furnaces over to electric, just so that I can keep the coal requirements down enough that I can run the full fluid mining drills. And yeah, as we get the bus big enough, that will also provide us the ability to sort of expand the petrol refining, the coal refining, and the maybe even start at the carbon refining, which should allow us to do a little bit more with the fluid mining drills, and maybe get some of the spaghetti done. And I think as Umbrella brings, well, I might literally ramble on here a little bit so that we can get raw coal done. Because it looks like in theory we're just about to end raw coal. 24 seconds or so. But yeah, as far as Fi is concerned, we're 31.5 hours into the run. See, it's coming up at 3 a.m. in the morning, so it's time for me to bring today to a close, because it's tomorrow already. We've slaughtered 83 Varrocs, and we just got raw coal researched. I don't think particularly early, because it's 31.5 hours into the run. But on the other hand, that's a SciPack. I think that's our third SciPack 1 science completed. And we're probably going to work up. That didn't add a new belly, but work up to potentially using that in the future. That's not the one we were looking at. SciPack 1 into crushers. So forget secondary crushers. Using the crushers to get raw coal and convert it into crushed coal, and coal dust. I believe that's fuel value increasing. Because raw coal is 3 megajoules, coal is 4, crushed coal is 6. So that's net fuel producing. We've got recipes that need coal. Specifically, the SciPack 1 requires, one of the steps requires coal specifically. So crushing the coal, diverting the crushed coal to produce power, and taking the coal out to do research is not a terrible plan. That wouldn't be too hard to sort of retrofit into the existing coal burning situation. So we may end up doing that once we get the bus far enough along to build secondary crushers. But yeah, before I rumble on too much, reminder, if you're watching on Twitch, this is your last opportunity to leave comments while the stream is live. With that, I'm going to do the outro. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to wish you all, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.